Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happens YouTube Atheist Community and Tiny Chat Fun. Anyway, Tiny Chat last night was, what's that sound? Somewhat interesting. It was different anyway. Started off kind of slow. I was trying to multitask. That was kind of dumb. Blah, blah, blah. So, no one was in the room except for me talking, and I wasn't talking much. So, yeah, that was kind of stupid. But anyway, so it had, and then I got kicked out of the room a couple of times and whatever, blah, 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 technology. But generally speaking, it was, things moved along adequately. And the Case a material guy, the troll, did put up with him. And, it was just kind of funny. A couple of ladies in the room, Poodle Susan, which was really nice that she showed up, and, Faith, and, there was some sort of thing going on that was just, I know it's I shouldn't make light of it, but yeah, it was kind of funny. But anyway, in between there were arguments and conversations about different things, and it just seemed to move along quite adequately. See, I wasn't totally dissatisfied. Piero was there for a while, and he's always so difficult to communicate with. But we resolved some things, sort of, kind of, in the way we always resolve things, which is the non-resolution resolution. But anyway, we'll see. What the hell? Oh, glass. Litterers. Anyway, like 50 years ago, litterers. So it was quite acceptable. Thank you to all who participated and whatnot and so forth and such. And we'll leave it at that, I think. I don't think there was anything else horribly important. No, it probably was, but doesn't matter. Whatever. It was kind of just, same old routine, just because I haven't changed the routine yet, so, but eventually, maybe, possibly the routine will change. And then, people hate it because it will change. People, even when things suck, they don't like them to change. But regardless, that's a whole another subject about psychology and whatnot, which there's been a ton of on YouTube lately, of course. Just kind of all of it's just kind of creepy and but anyway, so it's just going to take a while to sort out this knocking the loose parts off the engine kind of thing. You're getting rid of this stuff that's just making noise and creating friction, the stuff that isn't really part of the machine. And so some of that's good. There's probably some kind of great cliches for this, but sometimes you gotta shake things up to knock the ticks and the other vermin off. So anyway, so that's sort of been what's the news, I guess. It really doesn't have that much to do with my regular routine, other than the fact that I really just don't like watching videos anymore because people are just so annoying. So it's kind of strange. Because I sort of did like the challenge of the new argument here or there, but it's not like there's any new arguments. The same old tired bullshit. It's like, ugh, this is tired bullshit. I mean, I have to admit that this new thing of people being in love with me, it's just so funny. Especially in the the reality of their kind of love. I mean, with lovers like Jay, who the fuck needs hemorrhoids, right? I mean, come on. I mean, shit. It's just hilarious. So, but that's going to be worth a whole conversation, I suppose. I mean, I don't really want to get into the war of accusations of who the hell's psychotic and crazy and all that crap. There's no use into any of that shit. But, just this whole idea of these, like somehow it's only like I've just minorly changed my philosophy in the sense that now I believe in free will, souls, spirit gods, whatever. I mean, psychic surgery, UFOs, I mean, just, kind of amazing that, people can whatever. Like I said, I'll have to do another response video because he's made some sort of stupid video making cult accusations again. You know, so I'll appropriately respond with the appropriate, you know, counter insults, I suppose. But anyway, not too much interesting there. I guess the Wayward guy's going to also come up with some sort of critique of the cult leader video or something. So like I said, there's not much I can say to this crap except, yeah, it really is fucking funny. I mean, I couldn't have made my cult any smaller tent than I have made it, right? I mean, the tent barely protrudes, 14 millimeters from my philosophy. I mean, I have slaughtered people for minor transgressions against the principles because I know the principles are so damn important. Look at derived energy, for example. I mean, he couldn't be more of a diligent, aggressive anti-natalist. I mean, right? And yet, I can't tolerate his value relativism. I'm just like, how the fuck can you be anti-natalist and a value relativist? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And so I just can't accept it. It's an unacceptable circumstance from my perspective. And a similar argument with Metamorph, couldn't be more, diligent and, well, not diligent, probably the wrong word, have more character to his argumentation and all that kind of crap. But I just can't, for the life of me, understand how people acquire this philosophy without, a deep recognition of the ground that it's built out of, which is the process itself, the process of life, the fact that we are, endowed by our evolution creator with silly compulsions to swim up nonsense streams of bullshit. And that's sort of the metaphor I would use for humans. Salmon swim up a river because they're too stupid to see how they're getting gamed. They don't know they're, plowing their way to death. Where their body's going to probably painfully explode. It's just that, they have no clue what they're in for. And yet humans know what they're in for, and yet they create silly metaphorical adventures and all kinds of crap in the sky here to swim. They swim in a bunch of nonsense and jibber jabber and fables and fantasies, and to make it seem rational, to be a salmon. So, I mean, to me that's just so overtly psychological desperation. I mean, it's just, I mean, obviously if you, again, it's this idea of, that just counters what Jay is saying completely, that you recognize something before you react to it. You can't have empathy until you understand that something has a substance or a condition for which you are sympathetic. You have to recognize the reason to be sympathetic before you can be sympathetic. I mean, some things are just visceral, big eyes on the chicks, big boobs, whatever the thing is. Yeah, it's really reflexive, no thought required. But most of the stuff we have understanding of, we understand it intellectually. Your visceral reaction to a big giant long rubber band hanging off of a bridge with a bunch of rocks below, without ever hearing of bungee jumping or knowing anything about it, your visceral reaction might just be, what a pretty colored rubber band. I wonder what it's there for, or some kind of bullshit like that. You don't want to understand. And then you could understand it as, oh, I've seen videos of that bungee jumping. Or you could have seen videos of somebody bashing their skull in and seeing pictures of them in a wheelchair drooling on themselves going, mommy, mommy, good, good. You know, and then you know, oh, okay, I get it. This is that silly thing humans do for absolutely no good reason and turn into some drooling idiot going, mommy, mommy, good, good. And so it's that context that gives you your reaction. Your reaction is completely controlled by your understanding. Well, I'm making a video, but I mean, it's just such an obvious argument that, you know, you don't have any free will. Certainly don't, you know, the Native Americans had no freedom to believe in Jesus until that silly idea was brought to them. So, I mean, it's just such bullshit. Got some people in here. Hopefully they'll turn off. Yes, they did, thankfully. So, you know, there's just so many of his comments. You know, you could just go down the list of all the fundamental principles, all the things I've been fighting for, basically, you know, for decades. And he has some sort of expectation, I guess, that he could just completely shit on that stuff, and I'm supposed to say, hey, Jay, that was a really cool video. Really liked your honesty or something. Sorry. No sale. And in the context of this thing where he's basically just conceding he's, you know, just been puppeting. He's just been puppeting. And I'm supposed to say what? I asked you to do that? No. You know, I would have some sort of, if you told me the truth that you were just puppeting my words, that somehow I wouldn't say, hey, fuck you, cunt. You know, go play your psych games, your whatever, go take your love crap somewhere else, please. I'm here working, fucker. You know, you want to fondle my hiney or something, you know, do that in your living room or whatever. You know, do it, take that shit someplace else. Yeah, so I'm working here. I mean, I'm in this game for realsies. I'm not doing it to, you know, be a personality, to, you know, gain some sort of credibility or incredibility points. Again, I just see these people as just so manipulative of me, you know, regarding this whole thing, rather than me manipulating anybody. These people are just looking for, I don't know, a mentor, I don't know, whatever it is, some sort of thing for which they could learn to walk. You know, maybe they could steal some functionality out of me. You know, they could touch my my whatever and suck some of the energy out. But I don't, you know, this whole idea of that there was anything else going on here is just, I just think it's just so bogus, because they obviously had no sense of tragedy or loss or disappointment over the fact that they were going to abandon my ship, so to speak, or part, you know, that we were going to have to part, that we were going to have to separate. And they seemed to have no discomfort with that idea at all. And there's no way they could say the things they said. You don't title a video "Divorce" and think I'm not going to, you know, what the hell? What if men divorced women by just putting notice in the newspaper, "I'm divorcing you, bitch"? That they wouldn't take that, you know, if they thought nothing was wrong, they thought they were doing their job properly, and they just read it in the newspaper, you know, and that's what a loving husband would do. I mean, you know, so, I mean, this is just, this idea that these people cared at all for me, or about any of the principles, is just obvious. The obvious answer is they care for nothing. They're just playing a game on the internet. They're satisfying their own ambitions, and for some reason, we don't know the details of those reasons, they thought this in Mendham wagon was going a place they could hitch a ride on. But that's all they were doing. They were just riding on my energy. They were just riding on, they're just using me like a mule. You know, I was going in the right direction, and they just jumped on my back and said, yeah, you know, let's take this guy. And when it's convenient, when they found a McDonald's, they said, yeah, I'm done with this guy. There's McDonald's, I'll go to McDonald's. So that's all that was going on here. And that's okay. This is the way life works. I'm way too old to be ruined by any of this bullshit. But I don't like the lie being sold that somebody did somebody a disservice, or somebody had I'm the one with some sort of unrealistic, you know, personality, or somehow I'm supposed to have some sort of big tent philosophy. I'm not obligated to do any of that shit. And I'm not going to do any of that shit. No way. So, I mean, I understand myself and my philosophy all the way to its balls. You know, I've played with it all. And nobody's going to tell me what it is. I already know what it is. So, you ain't going to fool me, buddy. So anyway, enough of the video. Until next time. Yeah, see this pool cover. Nice and not a bad little, nice and, well, it's nice and covered. It's kind of depressing because it's like a swimmable day. But it's always like that. I certainly would have my pool open until the first, I'd have it open past the first frost. But anyway, until next time.